So I've recently been looking into webXR, which is basically running a VR or AR experience in the browser. So that can be on your browser on your phone for the AR, or browser on the headset like the Meta Quest for a VR experience. So it's a super, I mean, it's a really fast way of sending stuff to someone you know who has a VR headset who doesn't really want to install anything, right? Or can't install APKs, and you don't have to use SideQuest, or you don't have to get it approved by Meta to have it on this. You can just send them the link, right? And you have the link hosted on Amazon, right? So I'm going to go through the whole process of how to set that up. And I've had there's been some problems. I mean, the first thing you need to do is get Git. The reason why you need to get Git is this allows you, it's like a downloader for people's, because you have this whole thing called GitHub where people put up their own sort of programming projects and share them for you to download, but they're not like a sort of zip file. They're the whole sort of load of little files and directories and whatever. So Git allows you a way of downloading it from the command line, which is what we're going to do first of all. So let's run the command line in my this folder here, my VR. So go cmd in the address there to get the command line up. Okay, and then we go git pull, and we're going to go to, I'm going to use his multiplayer template because that uses the latest version. He's got several, I did try to get this one working, which is just the plugin on its own, because he's sort of written this webXR thing, but I was having issues with it not only working on one eye, and I didn't have issues when I downloaded this template multiplayer thing. So, and it also has a simple webXR thing, what the issue I had with that? Oh yeah, it was an old version of Unity, like Unity 2019, and I really want to use the latest version, and so this works with the latest version. So anyway, so what we need to do is clone his repository, I think that's what they call it, his project basically. So git pull, and then I've just copied the address, and then space, and off it goes, git clone, and then it will copy all the stuff, and it will should end up with a folder called webXR multiplayer. So there we go. This is their template project, right? So the next thing you need to do is open this template project in Unity. So you go add from disk, and then we'll go and find the template project. This is the one. And you need to get to the assets folder. So not in the assets folder, but where the folder for assets package. This is the root of the Unity project. And you open it, and if you haven't got the version of Unity, it will ask you that the project was made with. It will ask you to download it or put like a little exclamation mark. And if you haven't got a license, personal, the freebie license, will ask you to do that. But I'm pretty happy with all of that. Well, let's just open it. Okay, so here we are. Let's load up the demo scene. And so yeah, this is the Unity multiplayer thing. I need to check the target. So we need to go build profiles, shift it to web. Now, if you don't have web, you won't be able to switch platform. You'll have an install button, right? And the web thing might be lower down in the list, right? So you need to go and find it in the list, click install. It'll restart Unity, and then it will allow you to switch platform. But because I've got this module already in the Unity web target thing already installed, we just go switch platform. Right. And you can see a sample scene is already set up in the scene list. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is under the project settings, we need to check a few things. The player is that it's going to this one here, which it is. So and also we need to check that we have the web thing, the web tab as our target selected, export selected, and that should be everything. If we create a folder in our Unity project called build and run, there doesn't seem to be one, so let's go new folder, build and run. This will build out the VR website, if you like, the XR website, and then open it in the browser and have it running locally. And if that all works, then all you need to do is you need to sign up for AWS, which Amazon Web Services, and get one of their S2 things and create a bin, which is like a folder on the web service thing, and upload what's contained in the build and run folder to that folder, and then it will have an index file, and you'll create a link for that index file, and you can just send the link to the index file to whoever, and that'll allow them to open up in their browser and go to your game. So that's kind of how easy it is. Okay, so that's it in the browser. Just here's the game. Okay, sort of allow microphone, and if we had a VR headset connected, we might be able to click the VR button, right? Perhaps on the desktop, right? But that's all looking like it's working, so that's good. So now I'll show you the AWS bit. Let me just pause the video again and get that all going. So you need to log in as root user. So go, because obviously that's what oh god, this thing. There we go. So now we go, it takes us to, let's go to, these are all my buckets or versions, if you like. That's a pretty good way of doing version control. So you've done a number of tests, but let's do a new one. I'm not quite sure what the limit is on. Anyway, there's a few things that are super important. You need to enable this. That's step one. And then you need to enable this, step 2. And there's this checkbox here, step 3. Okay, to create the folder, right? And then just go. Oh, we need to call it something. So call it something unique. So I'm going to call it VR multi test or something. Can we do? I'm not quite sure if you can do uppercase. Let's try anyway. Great. It doesn't like it has to be no uppercase. So it's super. Okay, let's try this then. Okay, so that should be. Let's give that a go. There it goes. It creates it. Okay, so VR multi-test. There we go. That's the one. And now we need to upload the files. So upload. We just go. I think we can just drag the folder in. So let's go to the My Multiplayer. That was it today. Build and run. Select the folders. Select all this. And let's drag it in here. I think we can drag it. Yeah. And then on permissions, this is super important because you need to grant public access to read. And then again, so there's 5 steps you have to do once there's 3 steps you have to do to create your folder, and 2 steps you have to for uploading your files. Okay, which is this the permissions thing. Upload, off it goes. And if you hadn't set the bin permission stuff, you wouldn't even get it. Would even if you set it to public here, it would fail to upload. This is what I found, and it's a real pain in the ass to do this after the event. Set the permissions. So it's always a good idea to set the permissions on the upload, and then you don't have to go through how many files. There's 8 or 9 files, whatever it is. I mean, obviously it could be a lot more. And then when to set the permissions, it's like 5 steps. So I highly recommend to do this. And then if we click on the index, it will give us a link. And with that link, we can copy that link and we put it in the browser. And I'll send this over and that seems to be working. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Facebook or WhatsApp or something. It's Facebook Messenger is what I'm going to actually use. And copy this address. There we go, we get sound and everything. Copy this address. So let me pause the video. I'm going to copy the address to Facebook Messenger, and then on the Quest, I will open up the same project. So let's just pause the video. Okay, so in got Messenger going in Facebook, got the link, hold down, copy, go to the browser. Oh, here's one I did last time. And then we just delete that, paste and go, put the new one in, and you'll see when it's fully loaded, the VR button should enable. He says, there you go, VR. So here's the thing. Doesn't seem to allow. Oh yeah, it's a little bit chuggy. Okay, so let's try clicking on the VR button. Allow. I'm allowing the permissions because if you didn't do that in the multiplayer thing, you wouldn't be able to. So we might as well go through the basics. Create that. So confirm. You can obviously customize your Unity name or your confirm. And we'll go new room and number, do whatever, make it public or private. Create, and that doesn't seem to work. Okay, so I think I haven't set up it looks like I haven't set up the link, the multiplayer link properly, because that should work. Create room, no. Okay, I haven't set up, I need to go through the linking the project. There's some issue there. That's why anyway, it wasn't really about that. It's more about getting the Unity project to be uploaded in webXR. But yeah, it was just really to show how to get a webXR experience up onto Amazon and get a link that you can share with somebody. And yeah, if you've got if you paired correctly paired, which I'm not going to go into, your multiplayer game, then this would all work, the login and everything. But obviously, you could do any experience you like and set up in Unity. Okay, I'm going to stop the video there. It's just a stop.